And weiter because Schabersensplex, the Austrias, the Aachen-Kamel, to Kamloops removed when. So I just introduced myself in Secwepemctsín in the language of the territory where I actually live and traveled from, which is Secwepemc territory in the interior of British Columbia that is just being hit by fires right now. There have been entire communities, including indigenous communities that I work with, that have been wiped out. And so my heart goes out to them, and I've been lucky enough to have been down here in I came from the Rockies, as my t-shirt points out, and I'm heading up into, heading along the Columbia and back up into the Fraser River watershed after this. So it's just been really beautiful to be down here and run into you on your day 28 as you're crossing.
Yes.
As you're crossing the United States east to west. I feel like I'm going south to north, or I came from the north to the south and I'm going back up.
And you told me that you're actually down here because you're escaping the wildfires.
I followed my intuition in advance, and I had booked some time at a cabin to write in the Rockies, and now I'm heading back to teach at Thompson Rivers University in the interior of British Columbia at Kamloops. You might know Kamloops and you might have heard about it because the first unmarked graves of Indigenous children were found at the former Kamloops Indian Residential School about 2 years ago. And so since then there have been thousands of unmarked graves found in Canada alone, and I'm sure there are many in the United States as well. Down here they talk about them as boarding schools. Up there they were called Indian Residential Schools. So yeah, Carlisle is one of the famous ones. If you've crossed the United States, they are across the country. They're often those brick buildings. Many of them have been pulled down, but in Canada many are still standing. The one in Kamloops is still standing. So yeah.
And you're a teacher for?
I'm at the law school, so I work on these issues, including how the forceful removal of Indigenous children from their families constitutes genocide. So yeah, that's one of the things I work on.
Well, thank you for your work. I mean, kids are so important. Their lifespan is, I mean, that
formative life.
That formative life is so short and so important. So,
yeah.
Well,
So
appreciate it.
you're
And you
welcome.
may notice that her accent isn't necessarily just from British Columbia.
Nope, I'm Austrian. That's what I said in Secwepemctsín. I didn't translate. I said I am originally from Austria, but I have the privilege of living and working in Kamloops in Secwepemc territory, but my mother tongue is German, so I will say Auf Wiedersehen.
Perfect. And the reason we came together this morning is I was walking down the motel coming out, and she turned around and looked and she goes, "You're going skiing today."
But how can you go skiing, right? It
Yeah.
looks like ski pants. But to an
Yeah, ski
Austrian
pants and
mind.
boots and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it's a pleasure meeting you. Good luck back in Canada. What's your dog's name?
Bear.
Bear.
Is in there.
Okay. Well, he wasn't real excited about the get up.
Like the get up. No, he wasn't. Okay, perfect.
Well, thank you very
Thank
much.
you, good luck.
Appreciate. Thank you.
Bye.
Nice meeting you.
I've been driving. That's what I drive.
It's fantastic.
It's a Vespa. And I just filled it up. It cost me $5 to fill it up. And it'll get about 150 miles.
Wonderful.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, well, thank you.
Yeah. Take care.
Yeah,
So what brings you up here?
I'm actually from Arizona. I mean, my dad got 10 acres out here, so we've been working on that, living off the grid, and driving this around. Go to see my uncle out in Boise.
Oh, that's where you're going today.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're going to be getting wet here in a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all right, actually. Ain't too bad. If I get too tired, I'll just stop off on the side of the road and get warm.
All right. Well, safe journey.
All right, thanks, sir.
Okay, Scott's outside working on his bike. He needed to get an oil change. And it's the weekend. We're in Boise, Idaho, and we had trouble trying to find places. But Steve, we found him online, and he's an AMSOIL dealer. And as you can tell from the back, he has a lot. So Steve, why don't you tell us about your little shop here?
Well, I started in '97 because I had a street bike that the clutch would stick every time you parked it, whether it was a day or whether it was 3 weeks. I tried AMSOIL. I put it in there. The problem went away. I tried some semi-synthetics. It still didn't work. And so I started putting it on my rigs, and then it evolved into a little business, and it's just grown and grown.
Just gonna show your truck here too. So,
and I still have a day job, but I'm going to retire in 3 years, and this is going to be my retirement income, among other things. I love helping people. I've been riding dirt bikes since I was 10. I've owned over 40 dirt bikes, so I'm fairly familiar with them. So.
Yeah, and today it's Sunday evening. It's about 3 o'clock, and he was like, "Come on in, no problem. I'll get you the oil." Gave Scott the stuff that he needs to get it all changed, so it's all taken care of. You can see the bikes in the background. So yeah, if you guys, and he's only a couple miles off the TAT. So if you're running the TAT, you need the oils, come on in. Very, very pleasant, very hospitable here. He's got a great job. From what I'm seeing, he's got about anything that you would need out there.
I have it, all the oil for any bike you got, all the time.
Now, and it's not just oil. You also carry VP fuels.
VP racing fuels, in case somebody wants a little treat in their bike or something.
Sure.
You bet, or they have a special need.
Okay.
Some of the people that are racing or have modified motors, they might want to throw a little bit of VP in there.
Okay. What we'll do is, just like normal, we will put a card. We'll put Steve's contact information on there. And by all means, you guys are out running around, you're in the Boise area, and you need that AMSOIL. One of the things for me is my Honda is still fairly new. I'm still running Honda, but when I get back, I'm switching it over to AMSOIL. I also am an avid ice fisherman, and when I was using all my gas augers, nothing got in them other than AMSOIL, because I could be at 30 below outside on the ice, and I knew that thing was going to start, and you didn't have to worry about trying to get it to warm up. It just, things ran. So appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Look Steve up. See ya.